and his friends here are really worthy of bearing witness to. Now, we wanted to tell a story of Chito, our friend, and one of the shepherds of our country. Really, we once had a speaker in our club. He was a Taiwanese ex-premier, and actually, even though he was from Taiwan, he was very honored in China because of the charity and the good works he did in China. When people were so poor, they could not even afford to eat eggs. So they had a program, they call it Eating One Egg a Day for children. And they were able to promote that and then ended up raising so much money for scholarships. They raised 1,000 scholars every year. And that made him honored even in China, even though he's from Taiwan. And the story he told was something that moved him one day when he went to see one of his friends who had the wake. Then he saw these signs because, you know, in the wake of the Chinese, they have all these posters that they put up. And then there were these words, and which his friend explained to him. These words were 有你真好, 4 words, which meant having you was truly great. And then the friend explained to him that greatness is measured in so many ways. And some people are called great because of the wealth they created, some because of their science and discoveries, and some of them is just because of the contribution they made for their community, and that made that person very valuable to the community. And we believe that this is having you, it means having you makes life worth living. No, there creates faith in life. And many people might not realize the magnitude of Chito's contributions because he was such an unassuming person and because most work was behind the scenes. But his efforts were crucial, first because he was a very calming influence when Austin and I and our friends would have him speaking in crowds where the discussions would become very heated. When he's there, both sides seem to accept the calming way in which he spoke, very gentle, very fatherly, full of wisdom, and very harmonious. No? So he was a very calming influence. He was also key in shepherding the pandemic vaccines donations because he had to work so much behind the scenes, as well as calamity donations. Amidst all the disputes, he was part of the help that, you know, the sides together to work together. And very much people may not realize putting together the support that allowed the Marawi crisis to be put down, resolved within a period of 8 months, where many of the countries ended up decades of fighting and collapses of countries. People might not realize that because it was so much behind the scenes work. No, so this is all this allowed a greater peace and interaction in the somewhat the flowering of investments, and even our economy was affected. Because in this period, despite the disputes, the investments were a multiple of what was done, what was achieved even before. And people may not have realized and linked these things together. So looking at him, we can say he was a positive force in different cultures, because in Chinese, you have done your duty if you became part of the link in the chain between generations. And this is what Chito had done. And for the Christians, we could say that he was an instrument of peace. And I think everybody knows this very well. And maybe in pop culture, we could say he was a bridge over troubled waters. No? So it is up to us to continue the spirit of what he dedicated his life to. He balanced, and even with this career, he was always a very family-oriented person. And so his life of faith and mission, we thank you, Chito, and we say also, 有你真好, which is having you is truly wonderful, was truly wonderful. Thank you.